Sagene is with its 3.1 square kilometers, Oslo's smallest district. Density rate is affected by the type of dwellings. The most common dwellings in Sagene is block of flats, and it contains 99% of all the dwellings in Sagene. The apartments in the district are often two-room. Sagene has the most social housing in Oslo. It has 2,098 municipal apartments. Due to the highest number of social housing, the accommodation of refugees in this area is the highest. This map shows the share of overcrowded households in Sagene. Out of two, Oslo's transitional housing is located in Sagene. The map shows the number of registered cases of corona infection in total for entire period until 1st of December. If we look at unemployment rate before and during corona pandemic, we see that unemployment has doubled when comparing October last year with October 2020. Here you can see the distribution of completely unemployed between the districts in Oslo. Here we can see unemployment in the first 36 weeks of 2020 across Norway. In week 11, the number of job seekers increased by 330,000. Unemployment is a considerable source of social stress, leading to increased family tensions, increased isolation from others, and the loss of self-esteem and confidence. The loss of employment indeed implies loss of social contact and activity. The research indicates that a rise in unemployment is linked to increase in suicide. However, they find that the relationship is non-linear. The correlation between unemployment and suicide is stronger in countries with a lower rather than with a higher pre-crisis unemployment rate. This basically means that Norway is among the most vulnerable. Norway's unemployment rate in 2019 was 3.35 and was among 4 European countries with the lowest unemployment rates. The link between economic recession and suicide are well documented. What is less clear is how relationship plays out in the context of health events such as COVID-19. When looking at Norwegian Helpline reports from 2018, we can see that more than 200,000 people been seeking for help in the absence of any major emergencies in the country. I believe that the community center should derive from the need in the community. Based on research on Sagene district, I will speculate on what this community may need at this moment in time. The scheme proposes a hybrid typology of a community center, production spaces, and mental well-being center that embeds the ideas of mental health prevention within the community fabric. The research on unemployment during Corona in Oslo and unemployment correlation with increased chance of depression resulted part of the project to become a community mental well-being center focused on the prevention of mental ill health. The fact that Sagene is densely populated and has high number of overcrowded households resulted in a public living room as extension of your home. Discovery of transitional housing and social housing situation in Sagene resulted in a community center with a platform for social housing residents to contribute to the society. The well-being part of the center will assure that people that are undergoing life transitions will get a place where they can practice self-care and self-love, in that way preventing any more serious mental problems. The aim is to create mental asylum as a desirable and playful place, as well as to create positive space to experience mental distress and enlightenment. The center will seek to utilize the diversity of skills available within the community, in some way helping to preserve traditional crafts of ethnic minority groups living in Oslo, empowering the residents of social housing and giving them a platform to contribute and give value to society. Workshops as livelihoods will act as a platform to provide activity and additional income for social housing residents, contributing to reduce disparity and perceived discrimination towards the residents of social housing. The wood and the ceramics workshop is aimed at developing a distinctive model of designer-led production, making high-quality wood and ceramic products for improving the neighborhood, its private and public spaces. It attempts to re-engage with craftsmanship while overlapping it with contemporary technologies, and to re-establish the human relationship to pleasure of work and the relationship between consumers and producers. Sagane's living room is aimed at being a safe space of encounter and communication, which enables different interests groups to come together and get to know each other, share life experiences and stories. The living room is meant to be formed through a co-design process, where different communities within Sagene will think and work together on creating programs for the spaces of encounter and dialogue, according to their needs and wishes. In my proposal, I speculated on the necessary programs that the community could have decided on. The site is located on the left side of the Askers River. It is in between river and the Miraloka Park. The site is set for redevelopment by the city, and it is currently parking lot for various businesses located in the protected building used as office spaces. The site is located in the area where factories and residential houses coexist. In the area known for production spaces such as Miren's workshop on the other side of the river. Miren's mechanical workshop at Sagene in Oslo was Factory's factory. This and other industrial buildings are reminiscent of the river's longest tradition, using it as an energy supplier to many of Oslo's industrial companies. The project attempts to return the industry to the Sagene, fostering a culture of production where the experience of craftsmanship are offered to society. The collective center is located in the context of housing, which occupies biggest part of Sagene, 1/3, making the center easily accessible second home. The center is in the context of Sagene's green areas, where location allows after leaving the center to continue on your recreational journey along the river and greenery without immediately appearing on the busy roads. The collective center is located next to the active service area on the other side of the river. The center expands indoor activity zone to the left side of the river. When approaching the site, it was important to directly address the building's role in the Miraloka Park. The community center seeks to establish mutualistic relationship with Miraloka Park that are beneficial to both. Mutualism describes the ecological interaction between two or more species, where each species benefit. The living room part will facilitate possibility of being outdoors as long as possible by providing the facilities to fulfill basic urgent needs like eat, drink, defecate. The community center will benefit from the Miraloka Park by getting the park's audience inside. The intention on the site is to re-establish a wider visual connection from the part of the park that serves for leisure activities towards the river. Also, instead of the existing building, a plaza is being introduced, which connects the existing path in. In that way, people are brought into the public space of the community center and possibly inside. The plaza extends into Urban Street, which will provide a hard pavement allowing materials to be delivered and fire vehicles to access both buildings. The wideness will allow to use the strip as a public space for users of both buildings and will work as a meeting place for both groups of people. The ability to fully open the northeast facade will create a stronger connection between the center and the outer area, as well as facilitate the ability to bring some activities to the outer plaza. Long linear volume is designed in accordance with the morphology of the site. This volume is segmented into 12 volumes to evoke a sense of movement and moderately interweave the architecture into the park. Sedum overlaid the roofs, helping visually connect park with the building. Path as a bridge is introduced along the river, providing the access by the waterfront. This project is a complement to the existing mental health service, community houses, and refugee reception centers infrastructure. Similar collective centers proposed to take place in each district based on the boundaries of administrative districts, population densities, and travel time ratio, forming a city-wide network of collective mental well-being centers. These spaces should preferably be found in the buildings marked for redevelopment, in that way promoting adaptive reuse for the purposes such as reducing environmental impacts and reducing costs. Otherwise, new buildings should be designed for adaptability, disassembly, and reuse. With a flexible building typology that allows a variety of applications in the future to meet the changing needs of the district and the shift of zeitgeist. During contingency, the center will provide a welcoming community to be part of, as well as enable interactions between displaced people and the local host community, to come together to learn from each other through informal encounters and non-formal education, also providing livelihood opportunity for long-term displaced people to become more self-reliant, and mental health support provided as non-medical support in the form of creative workshops and self-care, self-love activity. In order for this project to be built and to be constructed as an idea and as a building, community stakeholders must be involved. For the project to be funded, key community stakeholders, such as residents, community groups, business owners, neighborhood leaders, must be involved in order to bring in resources. Resources can range from donated materials, such as wood, tools, chairs, plants, books, electric car, piano. Donations of competence from local professionals, such as accountant, designer, economist, to donations of services from local businesses such as groundwork, carpentry, and so on, as well as financial donation from community members, organizations, or businesses that have interest or concern in the community and the desire for a collective mental well-being center to happen. The remaining financial support would be coming from the municipality of Oslo, which has presumably the highest interest in having this type of collective center. The concept is based on the idea the more stakeholders there are involved, the stronger the collective center. The project is initiated by those who benefits of the collective center existing. The building and the organization would be run by the mix of volunteers and employed people. The center is set out to be open all the time, as is Miraloka Park. During the night, people will be able to enter by unlocking the secondary entrance door with the app. The project focused on activating and strengthening the local community. The project aims to facilitate positive, safe, natural interactions amongst people and foster a sense of community and belonging, helping multicultural communities build cohesion and mutual understanding, as well as being primary place during contingency, providing an educational facilities, mental health support, and livelihood opportunities for the displaced people. The community center, with its current programs, will advocate collectivistic values, where being dependable, generous, and helpful will have right conditions to develop. In that way, promoting mutual understanding within multicultural communities, where interactive mutual process changes the receiving society as well, which has to learn new ways of relating to. The community center will invest in cultural diversity and intercultural dialogue, and potentially be a part of the action plan against discrimination and hatred of Muslims, aimed at creating dialogue across beliefs and worldviews. Creating communities that provides fertile ground for respect, knowledge, and understanding are set out. Sagina's living room is inviting people to acquire new knowledge, read and knit, play, hide from the rain and use the space as indoor park, walk, climb, elevate, participate in more informal encounters, while in the wood workshop, residents from transitional or social housing work on high-quality wood products. On the second floor, people are invited to cook, eat, read and study, hang out, look at locally created wood and clay products, chat about it, learn a new skill, walk, climb, while in the ceramic workshop are being produced ceramic products. Community Well-Being Center invites people to sit with yourself, nap, exercise, bathe, practice compassionate self-care, rest and feel your feelings, relax in sauna, walk, participate in informal encounters, in spontaneous ways use the space for the purpose of your own well-being. building contains 4 types of spaces: open spaces, flexible spaces, semi-flexible, and fixed spaces. Open spaces are those that are not divided and are not meant to be divided. Flexible spaces are those that can be closed or left open to the open space to expand it. Semi-flexible spaces are those that are preset to occupy different programs. Fixed spaces are those that are predefined to provide that particular program. 2 types of flexible spaces is introduced: transparent to prevent the building's sense of transparency and isolate from noise, and non-transparent to provide calm setting visually and acoustically. Open plan in some parts contains sliding walls installed across 2 floors. The flexibility will allow to adapt different program layouts to evolving needs in the future, in that way assuring a long-term value of this community center. The building has an extruded facade where the entrances are formed. Roofs provides shelter for passers-by, absorbing and inviting to enter. It also forms light transition between outside and inside. New public spaces is formed around the entrances. In this one, light wells are left for people to exploit in their own individual ways. New public space between the 2 buildings is formed as a meeting place for the users of both buildings. The public space in front of the main entrance opens towards the river, where hard surface is combined with soft and abstract park furniture, which must be designed to accommodate different user-defined functions. The building maintains transparency, this way connecting with the park. People indoors will be able to observe the park, and people outside will be able to participate indirectly in the process taking place in the center. The sectional diagrams show how people will be able to form an overall picture of the spaces in the building while being in different locations outside. Transparency will allow them to see whole system of the building. The building also maintains openness to the public by having 6 entrances to the building. The main entrance is formed at the intersection of 4 park paths. Secondary entrances is formed from the park path. First one with the stairs down leading to the first floor. Second one with amphi and stairs up leading to the 3rd floor. And last one directly leads to the 2nd floor. And 2 entrances is formed to the new urban street. One for delivery of goods, the second for connecting neighbors together with newcomers.
Experiencing right now, just simply notice it. Be the watcher.
Timber is chosen as a sensitive material to the natural Miralocas Park landscape. Timber used as a building material will create a comfortable and more therapeutical environment that can benefit potentially distressed and vulnerable people. Timber should help to create a relationship between the building and the human, where he feels pleasant and relaxed. The project addressed the lack of interaction between refugees and the national ethos of the new land. Living and waiting on the periphery, where your language teacher is sometimes the only connection to the new society. For refugees entering a new society, the interpretation of that ethos is essential to making sense of their new lives and reconstructing identity. The project also addressed the suffering through the collective trauma of the pandemic, suggesting typology which would facilitate healing process, self and collective care.